All right, folks. Welcome to the stream. Hello. I am, of course, the Wombat of DM, and we are here for our our potentially penultimate session to the campaign end. Maybe two off, but ultimately, it is our first anniversary of two. This is the 4-year anniversary of Session Zero, when we first met to discuss the campaign. And boy, I don't think any of us planned for the campaign to be just quite 4 years in the future down the line. We would still be going. But I am all for it and happy to be here, and I hope you are too. Let me introduce the other folks who have stayed around for an entire college degree. Let's start with Belzian.
I thought you were going to introduce us. Oh, let us introduce ourselves. Okay. Hi. Happy anniversary. I am Banewall. I play Belzian Gilkis, who is a half-elf monk, and if he was an as-seen-on-TV gadget, he would be the Slapchop. Hey-ya!
I'm Amadeus, and I play Roger Mays, One Elf Assassin. And if he was an as-seen-on-TV gadget, he may or may not Julienne Fries.
Ed here with another great new product. Ulrich Oakenhurst, the human paladin, formerly human, actually, now a vampire. Get him while he's hot.
Before he goes cold.
I am Jaeger. I play Yarvik Venisonbringer, a halfling ranger. And if I were going to be as seen on TV products, I would be lawn darts and three-wheel ATVs from the 80s, which were outlawed because they killed a bunch of people.
We didn't need those teenagers anyway.
I'm Atomic Zippo, the Kobold Sorcerer, and if he was an as seen on TV product, he'd be like on the prank channel where it's like the hand zappers, but instead of like doing a small jolt, it'd be hooked up to like 4 car batteries, and you'd probably die from it.
And if I were an seen on TV product, I would be haunted. Welcome to the stream, everyone. So we have been gone a bit, so I guess it's time for us to remind the audience what's going on. Can anybody in the group tell me? I will take that as a no.
I was just giving folks a chance. So, we, after doing individual, some individual sessions and the like to just kind of like prepare for the day to follow, we have moved the army by way of our good friend Carl. Am I remembering his name right?
I believe it's Jarl.
Okay, thank you. It's right.
It's actually Jarl.
Okay,
Charl.
Anyway, he has done his wonderful teleportation to get us all to the rift. We have posted up with the rift in view, only to find this beautiful giant army surrounding the rift and a smaller regiment kind of trying to protect the rift. And we are trying to decide plan of action. We don't have our entire army with us. We are having them kind of stagger through, but so we are just we few in this particular case, including Jordan. Right, Jordan's with us. Yep. So a bit of a tight, sticky situation right now.
Yeah, a few caveats to that. One, since the group has brought Carl with them in the army to investigate, Carl will potentially be unable to transport any more of the army, since he's also the person that has to transport the group to other parts unknown, such as the Abyss, potentially, as if the plan goes accordingly. The party is currently on the lip of a caldera, in the center of which is where the tear, or as Ulrich has called it, the rift, is, which is currently being defended by the army of Relic's forces, who has erected a potentially semi-permanent round version of the wall that once stood, dividing the three lands once upon a time. So ultimately, there's this big pillar of black tentacles kind of enwrapping the area where they assume that the tear must be, because it's nowhere else to be seen than the demon army is kind of swarming. So the army that they've brought, the 1,000 souls that they have taken, are currently on a field about a mile or so back from the group. So they're out in the open on the plain, whereas the smaller group of individuals, the party itself, is kind of hiding over the lip. There are flying demons about, fighting other flying members of the army, such as the Rock Clan and some dragons. And I know that we noted that a few of these demons have seen you folks, but none have started to swarm the group as of yet. Anybody else remember anything from last time of note? Then I guess the last question I have for you is, does anybody remember what the initial plan is for once we arrived here, what happens next? Like, anybody remember that much? Because there was a plan that was erected a couple sessions ago. So
I remember a couple of different plans that were vaguely related. What I think you're referring to is that we were going to try to find a way to set up proper communication with Rift and the relic defenders here. And I don't remember what steps we have already taken along that path.
Well, and then also the ultimate destination of you were sending the army to kind of help defend the group, but also the main thing is that the rift needs to be closed from the other side, the abyss.
Yes.
So ultimately, that is kind of the party's ultimate goal, but they need some powerful spellcasters to help them close the rift. Carl cannot do it alone. And so the trick is to get there with those folks, but it seems like those folks are quite close to a wall in the middle of a sea of demons at the moment. That and also probably need help.
They look like they're doing fine. I guess we'll have to part the sea somehow.
I think one of the things we agreed to do, didn't we agree to kind of give Jarl some time we were going to back off and give him some time to work to get, because we would be cannon fodder. We can't contribute in any meaningful way to the defense, the siege, whatever that case. We can't contribute to it, and we can't reach our goal of trying to get in there as we stand now. So I want to say I remember we were going to drop back, and we had figured out what was the maximum amount that he could transport per day or something like that, and we were going to give it like 2 days or something. Does that sound familiar?
I want to say that it's he can do a third of the army at once. Yeah. So it'll be 4 more days before we have the full army, and I don't think that they're going to be able to hold out that entire time, judging by what the situation looks like.
The party did speak with Rift last time as well, and with communication to Rift, he basically stated that this invasion happened recently. They had put up the wall as kind of a protection measure to keep more demons from coming in, but of course it stood as a beacon for the rest of the demons that are already around and have come to kind of stop this defense. He also stated that the elves are somewhere around in the area. They have regrouped and are strategizing their own way of assisting in the defense with so many outnumbering them at the moment. So they're kind of thinking very similarly to you right now.
I thought our plan was to find the elves, that way we can see if they have any powerful spellcasters to go in with us.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Perhaps we should just see if we can locate the elves. At the very least, we'd want to coordinate with them. More power means there's more stuff we can do.
I forget, we are still not in ring range for Rift. Wow, that's some great alliteration, correct?
I think
we talking to the ring.
No, I think each of those squares is supposed to be like a mile or something like that.
Oh, that's right. We use sending.
Yeah.
Every 2 squares is a mile.
Gotcha.
That is miles of demons.
Yep.
Yeah, that's battle.
We gotta turn on some Elton John and start running.
Say that again?
I said we gotta turn on some Elton John and start running. We're still standing.
What we really need is like a superhuman king and a swarthy band of allies to go and create a massive diversion over that other way.
So what you're saying, we need 1, a big diversion, and 2, to gather all the magic folks. Is there a 3?
Try not to die.
Oh, of course, yes.
I do think, well, we should definitely start moving in whatever general direction we think the elves are, because the longer we stand here, the more time we give the demons time to realize we're behind them.
I believe we did agree to quietly back off the edge and move back to the tree line. I think we had discussed that right before end of session last time.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're going to kind of send out to the army, hey, turn around.
Yeah, we need to lay low for probably a couple days.
By the way, the army is Brunhild's symbol in this case. We chose Brunhild as our emblem for the army.
Yes, she is our mascot.
All right. You're moving quickly or quietly?
Yes.
Well, you can't do both.
You noted that some of them had noticed us and didn't really do anything about it, right? Going back in a few sessions ago.
I think probably quietly would be best.
Agreed, quietly. So quiet that still.
Stealth time it is.
All right. So that means that you'll be going at half speed as you kind of move backward. And I'll have stealth checks, please, with advantage.
With advantage, you say?
I did.
Oh, wait, stealth.
29.
28.
Oh, damn.
Now, whenever Ulrich walks, someone runs underneath his feet and catches it quietly.
Yeah, I'll take a 12.
Okay. Let's see. Are we missing anybody? Zippo, right?
Zippo is so stealthy, you didn't even see their roll.
Hello. The breaker in my room blew.
Oh, the breaker in your room blew. That stinks. Would you like me to roll for you?
What did we roll?
Hmm?
Yeah, if you don't mind my computer's being an actual butt, it won't let me load anything right now.
Sure. Let me just get you up. All right, in the meantime, you are moving backward, back toward the army. As soon as you get close enough, since I guess Jordan kind of messages Marius, and he starts turning the army around, and kind of brings them back the way they'd come. There is nothing that can kind of prevent from the massive column of footprints that they are leaving behind them. As you catch up to where they were, you can kind of see that the earth is torn up. But also, there is a lot of that around from the moving of various groups of people and creatures in the last, month or so in this area, right? So ultimately, it's pretty evident that something, a force has come through and then left in the same spot. Like, Roger, you know immediately exactly what this is, and there's no hiding it at this point. Even if you shaped Earth this whole area, one square at a time. But you're hoping, at least you can probably hope that it might be lost amongst the other tracks that are in the area as well.
Are the demons looking that closely at the ground? They seem like they're more interested in the fight.
I'll put it this way. Even though the demons spotted you, they still just focused on the fight because you are 5 people. The army, if they did spot the army, fortunately they were still far enough out yet that they, at least as far as you know, haven't spotted them yet. Is probably another matter altogether.
All right, we're too insignificant to matter.
Zippo, I used up both of your good rolls for tonight.
Heck yeah.
I got a 19 and a 20 for your advantage rolls. So Zippo, for the very first time ever, takes stealth seriously and kind of is in the shadow of Belzian and Roger, kind of just like he does not mess with demons.
There's only one demon I want to mess with, and it's an act of violence.
All right, so you make your way back toward the forest and settle into the forest proper with the army in tow. Marius asks for an update, and you kind of fill him in on the situation in terms of what that scene looked like, and his face pales. From there, I'll leave it to you what the discussion turns to.
Well, we want to go looking for signs of elves, because we have heard that they are around here, and frankly, any additional warm bodies capable of holding weapons will be useful to us, even if we are those warm bodies and they are the people requesting them. But also, they might have spellcasters, which will aid in our other secret plan.
Indeed, I concur. Elves are funny, magical people. Like you.
I am funny, and I am magical.
Turns out we have a resident expert.
Did we note how many elves there might be?
No.
Because, a lot could mean, I don't know, 20?
Enough to fit on about 1/4 of an acre?
Or do you remember What Cordelia said she'd send.
Let me see if offhand, I do not. Because I mean, you mean prior to like when we were actually with Cordelia, because she didn't promise anything last session.
No, it was the when you had messaged her the first time you got the 3 points.
Right. So when we were first before we went to
before you even went to Licht, yeah.
Back into Seregen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she I know she was sending a regiment of just trying to find offhand, I the player do not because it has been a year since that day. But I'm looking for my notes.
Yeah, that was back in July, so yeah, I get it. So she said she would send aid. Rift said that it was
but
a
she didn't
sizable
specify.
Force. It was a
Okay.
It was a message. So.
Okay. Yeah. No, I knew she'd send aid, but I was trying to remember if she specified any, like, you know, oh, I'm gonna send the Draco Lich or anything like that.
She said she'd send the elves.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they're. I mean, Rift reported that he saw them.
Correct. He said that it was a sizable elven force.
Right. So I guess I mean, to answer Maris' question, Ulrich will just simply explain that it is sizable. I mean, look, Yarvik, I think for you and Roger, if you can scout this out, maybe maybe we kind of divide and conquer here. Maybe we form a scouting party, one with Roger at the head and the other with Yarvik at the head. So 2 scouting parties, and we go separate ways. I mean, we don't really have any good leads on where the elves are.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Let the party. Let's go.
I believe Rift said that they went into this forest down here.
Okay. Do we have the message from Rift? I don't have that saved in my notes.
I believe you were able to communicate with him in terms of through the ring. Like he swung around.
I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah. I know there was a communication. And I think it was fairly... it wasn't like through typing, so it must have been through the ring.
I have the sending that we sent out, but I don't have the response written down.
Ah, okay. I might have...
Well,
what was the sending that you sent out?
Expeditionary force arrived at full strength in 6 days. Seregen's army only strong enough to distract. We need better communication. How? Necrata under attack also.
Okay. Yes. Okay, and that was toward the end, so he must have responded in turn with 25 words, but I think I said it out loud in it. No, here it is. The elves out there too. Swarm came without warning. War of attrition. A thrust would bring us together. If coordinated, I can't land presently. Baelor. Okay, so I'm misremembering as well. So there it is. So we could go with that plan. Ultimately speaking, you haven't seen any sign of elves in this area. They came from the south. So I'm going to give to you that this is likely where they are in this area. Unless they are much further south.
We can go over there and try and coordinate with the elves. I think that's worthwhile.
Yep.
Probably unwise to split up severely just because demons.
Yeah, no, I just had forgotten or didn't realize that we had the information. No need to split up if we have that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going two different directions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While the party is discussing with Marius, Zippo would have his drawing of his old master, in her demon form out, and like holding it up and letting the rest of the army know that if they see this demon in particular, not ones that look like her, to let him know. And by the way, the drawing is awful, and there's no distinguishable marks between her type of demon and her.
All right, so you going over there with the whole army? Are you keeping the army put and going the 5 of you? What is that thought process?
We'd be traveling a lot slower with the army, right?
Yeah, agreed.
But ultimately, we do want the armies in the same place.
You do.
Right.
So probably best to take the army with us. I mean, I don't think we're going to hide ourselves from the demons effectively. At this range, if they want to see us, they are going to see us. But we have to travel across a bunch of open ground. But if we take this straight route across the open ground, we will see them coming for miles. And can be prepared if they try to intercept us. And it seems like they just don't give a shit, right? Like, we could feasibly just walk all the way across and be fine.
Yeah, it seems like their main priority is trying to get that wall down.
I do agree with Roger. Speed is of the most importance. They've clearly expressed an interest. As long as they don't have a grasp of our true numbers, we're not worthy of their attention. So let's take advantage of that and move quick.
Yeah, we got lots of trees, and they're also down in a little pit type thing, and they're looking the other direction.
All right. So you direct the army and Marius toward the eastern forest, southeast of the caldera. I would like whoever the group would like to have roll, I'd like that person to roll 3 times a D100. Separate rolls, please.
Not it. I'm terrible at these.
I'll roll one of them if somebody else will do the other ones.
Each of us decide, if we can split the roll, one of us.
Alright, I have rolled a 98.
That's either really good or really bad.
Ye gods have mercy on us all.
Alright. Who's doing the second roll?
Now, if you guys roll 99, 100.
I'll do number 2. Okay, I'll do number 3.
Well, damn. That's a spread.
I mean, only one of those numbers is significantly outside of the expected.
We got 3 sevens, like a 77 and a 27, so like it's basically a jackpot at a casino.
Jackpot.
Yeah.
98 was a good year. All right. Good to know. Thank you. Let me move the army down. And feel free to move the army yourselves. Let's see. I don't have anybody who has it yet, so I'm going to give it to Roger. And then I will also give control of Ulrich, who's the group, to everybody. Actually, I think I can make this controlled by all players. Yes. All right. So all players can now control both of these tiles. So feel free to direct where you're looking to go within this forest. First, toward the bottom, toward the top. And let's see. I think that amount of miles will probably get you the rest of the day at this point, being that, you've already traveled some today and spent some time today kind of maneuvering and getting through the teleportation circles and things like that, right? So I think 15 miles will get you pretty much to the rest of the day.
Sounds good.
Okie dokie.
All right, so let's see here. I'm going to do one of my own, two of my own, and three of my own. Okay.
The numbers. What do they mean?
All right, about halfway through your journey, you see a group of smaller flying demons kind of come pouring out of the battle area straight south toward the army. It seems like a contingency has been sent out to deal with the army. Marius spots them, as does the group, and the army begins forming up with ranged tactics and spears, kind of form up and begin firing at the demons. The demons themselves begin attacking the group in earnest, kind of spreading out, and then when the individuals that spread out quickly get put down by many arrows or long-ranged ammunition, they kind of group up into a pincer and begin starting to take chunks out of the front lines. The battle is quickly handled. None of the demons survive. It seems like none of them intended to leave. All of them kind of wholeheartedly thrust themselves into the battle with malice, fighting to the last insect. These insects are the same insects that you fought in the forests to the west some months ago when you first encountered the tear. Of course, there were quite a bit more of them in this case. You notice that the reason they were able to take casualties from the army when they got close was that droning noise faltered some of the lines, and about, I would say, 50 individuals were slain in the battle.
F in chat for the fallen.
950 remain as you move further east and into the forest. All right. Now that you're in the forest, what do you do? Leading the company.
So we were looking for elves. I'm guessing they're in one of these forested squares somewhere. If I had to guess, it would be on like the side of the mountain, like to the south, like kind of behind the crest.
You're over
Whoa!
Yeah, we're on this side. My assumption is that they will be maybe not in the very frontmost squares, but towards the front so they can see better what's going on. And yet, perhaps that means they're up the mountainside some. I'm thinking I'm going to try lighting the blue lantern here, and maybe seeing if that will attract some attention from the people we're looking for.
Okay. Awesome.
The normal calling phrase would be to close and open it 3 times, but if we're wandering around for an hour or two before we settle down for the evening, I don't know if anybody is necessarily going to see that. So,
and that open and close 3 times was more so with your society than it was the elves that you met in Necrata. You just noticed that they had the clandestine blue flame as part of their ability to ward off the undead.
Yeah, so we'll leave it open. It can't hurt, and again, there's no way that we're hiding from an army of demons. If they want to come fight us, they absolutely are capable of it.
Mm-hmm.
So this light will only serve to attract the attention of the elves if they consider that to be a good thing.
Okay. Give me a perception check, since you're definitely going to be looking for them. It's not going to be passive at this point.
28.
All right. You notice that there have been some stands, some lookout stands that have been strategically placed on the opposite side of trees to the plains to the south or to the northwest. They are currently empty at this point. And I have an alarm going off. Alexa, stop, because I have to take some brownies out of the oven for my wife. So why don't we take this time to... we don't need to take a break just yet, but feel free to begin kind of strategizing once you find the elves what the thought process of the plan is that you'll suggest for them. Since the elves are going to be, wanting to do the same thing that you are, more than likely. I'll be right back.
So the biggest resource we have is time, and what I mean by that is time is extremely important and we don't have very much of it. Maybe it'd be more accurate to say the biggest resource we are in short supply of is time. We want to make a concentrated attack on the demons, a significant thrust where we try and get the key players towards the center of the wall that the demons have surrounded, right?
Yes.
So if/when we find the elves, we want to know, A, are they willing to commit to such a thrust? B, what do they have in the way of spellcasters that can support our ultimate goal of go to the abyss, attempt to destroy the portal from the other side? Do they have anything at all that can help us fight the demons?
We need to convince most of them to be cannon fodder and not let them convince us to be cannon fodder.
I mean, ultimately, I think with 950 people, there's just not any way that we're going to be a significant deal here. This is a truly tiny army.
Yeah, we're not even an expeditionary blip. There are literal miles of demons between us and the goal.
So, I mean, we shredded a huge swarm of bugs and only took 50 casualties, but still. There's no way that we alone can take on even, 1 square mile of demon.
So we need some kind of feint. Do you think we can tag them and then run away? And like maybe a bunch of them will follow.
I don't know. The problem is that, like, we've brought cavalry with us, right? We've brought Seregen's cavalry, but those are the people who I think are most interested in coming home from this expedition.
What could we do that would... So we either got to go above it or through it or under it. I'm completely spitballing here.
So Rift is suggesting through it. So, like, I have a single casting of invisibility. Roger can attempt to run through it with, like, the Longstrider, invisibility, pass without trace, that kind of thing. The problem is that only gets one of us through.
And that's also... We're not even talking about... We still have to get through... We can't even get to the Nouveau wall thing, right?
Yeah.
What can we do to get over, under, around, or distract a sizable portion of that encircling force? Like, it doesn't even matter how batshit crazy it is. Like, any idea?
Oh, we insult their mums.
I mean, we can walk up guns blazing, right? Zippo's got the firepower to get the attention of somebody. The problem is, of course, what do we do once we have that attention?
Right. It's like the dog that catches the car. What do you do with it?
Get hit.
We would need to fall back into some kind of contingency. Like, we don't have a lot of options for setting traps unless we spend some time taking down the forest or digging holes.
We'd have to see what the elves have, right? If the elves are working with, 10,000 soldiers or something like that, then who can hide in open terrain and shit. Well, they don't need us to distract for them, but that's the sort of resource we can use. But until we know what they have, and what they're capable of, we're just guessing, because our force is capable of doing exactly one thing: standing in the forest and not dying.
So far,
yeah, we can or running out into the field and getting killed. Those are the things that our 950 soldiers are capable of. Right?
Yeah,
we
don't even have enough to be a distraction. It's like, it's not even an act.
Well, if the elves came here, maybe we can check and see if they came on like any rocks or anything.
I think these ones are from the Crowda, but perhaps.
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. Brain.
I don't know if going over sounds like a poor idea, because that's one of the reasons like why Rift can't land, is because apparently the Ballers are anti-air.
Bailers, I mean, over is really our only option. We can't go through, and I mean, I'm not confident in my digging skills to be able to dig fast enough to go under.
Yeah, I can build trenches extremely slowly, but
yeah.
What's the price of a mile? Let's go.
I mean, if we want to go over without going through the air, I guess we could probably kill enough demons and stack their bodies like a ladder.
Yeah, I think we don't have enough information. We don't know what the elves have. We don't know what their goals are here besides help, and what sort of plans they'd be willing to agree to. So, like, use the elves as a distraction, be the distraction for the elves, not super useful without getting their buy-in, right?
True. We can focus on what we do have. We have 950 dudes. Can 950 dudes, like, build anything out of a forest in a small amount of time?
We can absolutely make some kind of static emplacement, but the kind of static emplacements you can build from wood are good against ground forces, not air. And I think mostly the reason we're still around is because the large demon force hasn't noticed us. Or doesn't care. But as soon as we put like a giant palisade wall behind them, they will notice and probably care.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, great earthworks or something like that, with a larger army. That's something we could consider doing. Not saying that the elves necessarily have Roger's cantrips, but even if we all just have shovels, 2,000 or 3,000 people can dig a lot of trenches very fast.
All right. So, with that being said, as if summoned, as you're kind of discussing in the rings, we need more information from the elves. You do spot a few elves kind of approaching the group cautiously after seeing your lantern ablaze. Two scouts approach you, Roger, and speak to you in Elven, and kind of ask you what you're about. Ultimately, they kind of get the sense, they know that you're not demons, so ultimately they're not really trying to hide from you at this point, but they're still kind of curious as to what's going on,
We're part of an expeditionary force from Seregen here to assist Relic and you.
What a coincidence. We are from Necrata doing the same.
Roger will go ahead and relay the information about the size of their group. We're just under 1,000 strong right now, and in a few days' time, we can get a few more thousand here. But that's all we have.
We are twice and a half that many ourselves. We have held back at this point to decide what to do. There is too many of them.
Agreed.
Perhaps
we've had
this will help. Unsure.
Perhaps we can get our leadership all in one place and come up with a plan.
Yes, we are up the heights some. Come, we shall lead.
Roger will send through the rings this information, and as they go, or perhaps before they leave, you'll go and get the attention of some other people and let them know where we're going.
Do you wish to bring Marius, the whole army? What's the plan?
I don't think there's any need to bring the whole army. These look like regular elves, right? Not like vampires.
Correct.
I mean, I can ping Marius over the ring, or ping the party over the ring, and say, "Hey, should we bring Marius to this? Should we invite him?" I think the answer is yes. I think Roger would want to invite him. Roger might just broadcast over the rings. Hey, we've met some messengers from the elves. They say they have a force of 2,500 or so up in the mountains and would like to talk strategy and what we might be able to actually do from this position. You are in charge of this army. And at least for now, this is your army to manage. So, would you like to come with, or are you expecting us to make these decisions?
So Marius has been kind of deferring to your expertise in Relic quite a bit, based on the fact that you've been here before and know these demons. And has been kind of honoring your requests. He seems to be in agreement that he'd like to be part of that conversation. So,
right. we'll let the elves know that we'd like to bring our military commander with us, and I once he and Jordan and the rest of the party is ready and all that, let's go.
By all means, just make sure to move quickly. And they begin moving off through the woods at a quickened pace. Tired as you are from the march of the day and the events that have unfolded, you seem to lag behind, and they have to wait. They lag behind every so often, as as many of the party is not able to keep up, except for Belzian, of course, who just kind of waits with the elves every once in a while, as the rest of the party catches up and then continues on with them. They seem to be walking through every kind of terrain, including hindering and not being hindered at all. The forest continues to swell up along the base of the mountain, and you see that there is kind of a natural ridge where the forest continues, and upon that ridge seems to be where the elves are staying. As you make your way up, you find some makeshift encampments. Mainly the wood has been kind of shaped. The trees have been shaped to accommodate, so no trees have been cut down. The trees have been kind of, the roots have been strategically spread and created shelters and things like that. It's very reminiscent of the village of Aurora, except these trees have not grown accustomed to being dwelling places, whereas the other trees obviously had been a dwelling place for a long time. So maybe the beginnings of what Aurora kind of turned into, in your opinion. You are led to a kind of a canopy. It's four poles with a an awning kind of draped across them. The awning itself is foresty colors. If looked at from above or below, it looks much like the forest floor would. So it's camouflage for the elves to meet. You see many kinds of drapings like this where there are not elves under trees. Between those two things, it would be hard to spot from a creature flying above. The group is led to the largest of these, in which there seem to be several elves discussing things, one of which is familiar to you. It's Reynard.
Oh, hey! We've been looking for this man.
Reynard
Hello,
turns,
Reynard.
Reynard turns as you greet him, and he is surprised, to say the least. And pales, but also flushes at the same time in seeing you. His eyes turn downcast, and he greets you and as well. He says, "My old friends, or new friends, I am pleased to see you." He does seem earnest about this, at least as far as you can tell.
Sorry, why old or new? What's the confusion there?
Well, I am very old, and relatively speaking, you are new.
Well, yeah, I guess. Never mind. It just seemed like a cryptic, weird thing. Oh, you just misspoke. It's a bit of a weird day.
Is normal for us elves, you know.
Hey,
old
I
for
do
you,
know that, right?
new for me. Allow me to clarify.
Yeah. So, we did our best. And how you doing?
He quickly, in Elvish, turns to his elven companions. They all seem to be also in leadership roles through various markings. Roger, especially, you kind of see that a lot of the elves are deferring respectfully, but also since Reynard's here and you know he's a leader, if he's associating with other elves of that type, then there are likely to be other leaders of other elven villages or cities. He gestures to the group, and in Elven, he basically states that this is the group that he tasked with uniting the three lands. Out of character, I'm trying to recall this. It has been a while for me too. Did the group ever tell Reynard that they brought down the wall? I believe they did, correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
because I'm pretty sure we asked him if he knows how to put it. Yeah. That too. But I'm pretty sure we asked him about how to put it back up, or at least somebody in the party did.
Yeah.
I
I was pretty sure. I just wanted to clarify before I state it. He immediately tells them that this is the group responsible for the walls removal.
Zippo will immediately interrupt in Elvish and say, not group. This one right here.
Pointing at who?
Me?
Himself.
Pointing at myself?
It was like, it was me.
I did this. You're welcome.
If it was a good thing, it was all of us. If it was a bad thing, definitely just Zippo.
Look what your son did.
I learned it from you.
I know some of what you've accomplished. We wouldn't be here otherwise. So excellent work. And I could kind of assume the other was successful as well if you were able to convince Necrata. So we are here due to your actions. For ill or better.
I'm trying to see. I've got a list of who we gave rings to. I don't think he was one of them.
He was
right?
not.
No. Well, we have some ideas about what to do.
But first, what do we get for completing your quest?
he looks at Zippo and he says, "Good boy." No,
I would have preferred gold.
he says, I'll put it this way. If I hadn't tasked you on this quest, I don't know what state the world would be right now with..." And he gestures to the caldera with that. I don't think any of us saw that coming.
Yeah, but that's kind of like a backed-up thing, that just kind of happened afterwards.
There would be nobody helping.
Again, that is also a thing that happened not directly because of the quest, but because of a side effect of the quest.
Fate moves. Right, 12 moves in mysterious ways, my friend.
I don't know who this Tolv is, but if he's, going to be moving, he should probably give us a reward.
Zippo, you know the gods.
Yeah, they're over there fighting, and Rift's one of them.
No. You know
right.
Well.
That's right. So Zippo might not have talked about his religion too much, but his race worships the dragons. So the 12 are not really his cup of tea.
Well, there's 12 spots on the clock, but there is an infinite amount of spaces in between each slot.
But it might explain a little bit more about why he was so reverent around the dragons because they are literally gods to him. That being said, Reynard kind of states, "We are at war. I would not bring anything here that would even you'd even think of as a reward, but perhaps one day the reward will come, Zippo."
I'm gonna write that down in my book. When Zippo writes it down, he looks at Reynard like, I'm gonna hold you to this, and then he puts the book back in his pocket.
So you said you had some ideas.
We've talked to one of Seregen's court mages who suggested that there may be a power source on the other side of the tear. And Roger nods. Downwards, perhaps, in the abyss.
So that's what's going on.
Well,
we had very limited information when we arrived. Some members of the defending army were able to speak with us before this horde showed up, and we escaped, but we were not able to join them. We were cut off. The wall was already there, and we knew not what was behind it. That makes a lot more sense.
We've had a few sporadic communications with Rift. We believe that Relic is responsible for the wall, wall existing. I think they called it a temporary wall. But we know little more than that.
They would need some powerful users indeed to upkeep it. For this amount of wall, well, I can't venture a guess, but they must be contributing a significant force to just that act, which is good. If there is a tear to the abyss on the other side, then this is just a paltry sum compared to what could be here.
Our plan with that information was that we might try to go to the other side and disrupt whatever power source is sustaining the tear. But Carl seemed convinced that we may need several powerful magic users to do that. And, of course, a force to defend them while they did it.
I believe he said the number was 5. Pipes up Jordan.
Yeah.
4 more than him.
To be fair, that sounds like a really big number for Roger.
100 is not so many years, but 5 is a lot of wizards.
That's actually very sage. That is actually very sage.
How powerful do they need to be? I might be able to lend a hand, though I'm woe to enter such a place.
As powerful as we can spare. I don't know if someone of Zippo's arcane might was enough for Carl's suggestion, or if we needed more than that. We'll be bringing him anyway, of course, but...
Yeah, I think Carl, when he was speaking, implied it would need to be people of his caliber. So
somebody capable of casting a 9th level spell was the kind of the vibe I got.
Yeah.
So I'll relay that to Reynard. It's like, yeah, we need people who have, like, let's say, spare 8th and 9th level spell slots. You know, that kind of power.
There's only one other in our army, our troop that is of a similar caliber to myself, just a little bit less. Most of the leadership for the elves have grouped in El Morel down south. We are the forces that the elves could spare. I don't know if you know this or not, but Orcus is causing a good bit of mayhem in Necrata.
We had heard, yes. And had we heard earlier, we might be aiding there instead of here, but such is the nature of things.
He was headed for Maynir last we heard, but the queen told us to come here. So here we are. So that's
by my count, that's 3 such spellcasters, and I think we needed 2 more. Rift, perhaps, would be able to do that for one, and maybe there will be another among the defenders of Relic here. Or we may have to chance it with 4.
Oh, well, now hold on. Zippo, you're quite powerful. You're not that powerful yet, are you?
I don't know. I doubt it. I can't do like big spells. That maybe, maybe I feel like they're more of like a channeling type magic. I just kill stuff.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
I don't know how I kill stuff most of the time. I just do it.
All right. Well, I mean, Jarl has some uncanny ability to travel. Surely he has to know someone else of his capabilities. And actually, Jordan, how about you? You're a magic user.
I'm not anything like Carl here. Well, Carl, he's not here, but I'm not anything like Carl in terms of my abilities. I would probably be better used helping the group in whatever way we can to defend them.
So 2 more to the defense force.
While the group is talking and strategizing, Ulrich, you collapse and go unconscious.
Oh, having a whoopsie.
He's doing that thing again.
All right. You are back in the zone that you were in before, that dark zone with your mirrored self. A lighter version of you and a darker version of you. One who has seen the wear of your journeys, and the other one that has just stepped out of, home. One clearly has the insignia of the Oakenhearth family with the shield and an axe. The other one with no shield and a mace now you have?
Yeah. Well, I also have...
You have a shield, but it's not your family shield.
Javelin.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't...
You don't have a shield anymore, right? I don't remember. But
I don't think
ultimately,
I
your
think I
equipment
do.
is very different from when you first set off, and you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I need you to make a death saving throw first of all.
Yep. Actually, apologies. I don't know why I rolled a con save.
Yeah, and this is, by the way, your second death
the-
saving throw.
Yeah. I mean, the die roll for this would have been above 10, so
Correct.
14. So it works. I don't know why I did con save.
You're fine.
But 14.
It's an old habit. I get it. Yep. All right. So you are face to face with him. He is smirking at you.
Yeah, it's a really fun situation. So, are we gonna tussle? We gonna talk? What's the game plan here? How much of you is me, and how much of you is just the root?
Well, this discussion would be much easier if you hand over your items. Strip.
I'm bashful.
I'll take your axe then.
For what purpose?
So you can't hit me like you did last time?
Okay, then I'll take your mace. What, like, I hate you because you hit me.
As I said, I'll take your axe. And he holds out his hand at you.
Look, we're gonna have a give and take here. If you're gonna live inside of me, if you're gonna be part of me, I'm not looking to hit you.
And I'm not looking for a partnership.
All right. Well, then I am looking to hit you, and he just attacks.
Okay. I believe we said that Dark Ulrich in this case will have advantage because last time he won the interaction. That's correct, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So, you're going to be rolling both.
Okay.
Same stats for
what am I rolling again?
So you both have the same equipment. You're going to be attacking. Treat the axe and the maul as the same type of attack and damage. So one is at advantage and one is regular.
20 versus for him is going to be... he only got better, so 25 for him.
Okay. So basically you lock weapons against each other. You both kind of draw and attack at the same time, but he manages to overpower you and hit you. Go ahead and roll damage.
Apologies, that should have gone through.
You're good.
There we go.
Okay. Are you going to attack
14.
again?
Yeah, I mean, if he's making it clear that his intent is to just be the one, Ulrich will essentially attack ad nauseum until one of the two of them is dead.
Okay. There will be there's 3 attacks per one of these, so let's roll your second one.
Okay. 22 for Ulrich, and...
Okay, you beat his.
19 for... Yep.
All right, roll damage. As you kind of strike back with an axe and deal a stunning blow to him as well. All right. He kind of wipes off some blood and licks it off of his hand, and he says,
"That's not even nourishing for you."
he he basically says, "Ah, so you do have some fat in your left. Good." And he strikes at you one last time. So go ahead and roll opposing.
All right, for him, 17 or 21 for him.
Okay.
And for me, 18, so he'll beat out.
Okay.
And he deals 7.
He deals 11 or 7?
7.
Okay. Okay, because of the radiant damage. Got it. All right. Let's see here. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess if we're adding the radiant damage in there, apologies. I was not looking at that.
Straight damage is fine.
Okay.
We are in our heads after all. Okay. So basically, he kind of continues to pound at you with the mace, and you kind of jolt back awake, kind of shaking and quivering. The injuries that you took within your mind, you also took in real life. So take, what is that? You had 11 and 7, so 18 points of damage.
Plus the third one, I assume that each half is me, so
the third one didn't actually hit because you won the interaction. You attacked the thing within inside you. It did not actually cause your physical body damage at this point.
Sure.
Okay. You are hungry. It's as if you haven't eaten for 7 days, but guess what? You ate what yesterday?
Something like that.
Yeah, very, very recently. So you shouldn't be feeling this way yet. It seems like the timetable has begun to move. The rest of the group, Ulrich is out for about a minute. Some elves kind of rush to see what's going on, and then immediately back away as they realize that Ulrich is a vampire. So Ulrich's still unconscious, folks. What Roger or group, if anything, are you doing during this time?
Wait. It's complicated. He's just having an episode.
He does this sometimes. I think move him into recovery position so he doesn't choke on his vomit if he barfs, you know?
I mean, we don't really need to do a ton of explaining here because these people are from Necrata and
They've probably seen this before.
We have Necrata's support. Maybe they don't want to accidentally kill him by casting the wrong kind of spell to sort him out.
So does looking at the other, does y'all's vampires do this sometimes? Because he's done this twice now, and I just need to know if there's going to be a norm or not.
He's not yet one of them, but he's not one of you anymore, says Reynard.
I don't think he's ever been a kobold.
He's in between. And right now, if I'm guessing right, he's having a battle of wills.
Whose will? Okay, so he's like in a transitionary period, perhaps.
So, how are we going to get into the rift? Or pair, or whatever that we're calling it now.
It seems to be some kind of portal. But a portal's just another word for door, right? So do we just go in?
No. Do you have
Maybe
any
not
ways
first.
of planar travel, Reynard? Because I have it on good authority from a couple water elementals that their plane looks exactly like this, except, you know, probably not all the demons there, so we could probably just walk up to it if we get that going.
I believe that Carl is going to take us to the abyss directly.
Okay.
Yeah, I would hope so, says Reynard. There's no getting through the wall, not unless you have another key to it, of course. And if we dropped the wall, then, well, the demons on the other side would get through. There, we need to go through the back door, as they say.
You guys seen more of the demons than we have, and Zippo will pull out his book to Reinhardt and show him the drawing of his ex-master. But you didn't see this one in there, did you?
We've slain a few of those. I
really hope that is the one.
They were with Null.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick with one of them, specifically one of them.
He seemed to favor them.
Orcus
seemed to be
weird.
Leading various areas within various sects of demons that were attacking Necrata. I haven't seen any here, though.
Oh, dang. Well, I guess it's a good thing we're going to Necrata after this, then. Did you know he could take over, like, random people and just be there?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's, might want to start checking people for, like,
signs of possession.
Yeah, possession. Because we met somebody that, was possessed, and, I guess I'm assuming, by my knowledge, he can take damage when he's in those bodies, or if they die, something happens to him, because whenever we got ready to kill that guy, he left, and then came back, and we didn't kill him, and then when we got ready to kill him, he left, then came back, then we killed him, he wasn't there anymore.
There have been folks that have been used by demons to commit evil acts, but never taken over by. I'll come out, babe. I'll be there in a sec. Sorry, resetting. There have been folks that have been have their wills forced upon by a demon, but outright possession by Orcus doesn't seem outside of his power, but I haven't seen any risk of that within our group as of now, though that does concern me.
Yeah, just figured I'd mention it because whenever he was possessing, he had a lot of information about the party, which he could have got from the demon I showed you a picture of, but that's a different story. Oh, maybe that's why that map to man here was in. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
I had a map to man here that I got before the war.
Oh, you cut out.
If you are talking, we are not hearing you.
Well, I think it's 9 o'clock. This is probably a good stopping point to take a break, see what's going on with Atomic's sound, and we will be back in 10 minutes to continue the discussion and then what to do next. Everybody good with that?
Sure.
All right, folks, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Welcome back to the second half of the stream. We are in the midst of discussing things as Ulrich has just fallen unconscious and Reynard is kind of reacting to that. He kind of looks at Ulrich sadly and kind of looks at you, Roger, and said, "So this is the price that the Queen had, is it? Or did he fall on the field?"
Roger will give somewhat of an exasperated sigh and say, for reasons that I can only conclude are his own, he chose this of his own volition. The Queen even asked him if he was sure.
Well, that's a shame.
Agreed.
Well, he should come to in a moment. Just make sure that he does not consume one of ours.
Perhaps he should go find some demon flesh to eat.
Yes. After a few moments, Ulrich, you wake up. You find yourself laying on the ground face up. Moved several feet away from where you were. And basically what happened is the group started to get helped by the elves, and then when they realized that Ulrich was a vampire, they stopped moving him and let him lay on the ground. So if any of the group kind of is still around Ulrich, then Ulrich, you'll see them, but ultimately, yeah, you're not really sure what happened, but it's another one of those hammer blows to your head. You've got kind of a headache. And you kind of get the sense that the Queen is in trouble.
All right, well. Sorry about that, everyone. Let's continue on. Reynard, I'm not going to... I'm sorry, go ahead.
It wasn't me that spoke up. Was it somebody else?
Nope. Okay. He'll look at Reynard and say, I'm not going to make excuses. I thought it would give us an edge. And buy a little bit more security from, I just didn't really have a lot of trust. And, I'll pay the price, I'm sure.
And he responds quietly, and did it work?
From my perspective, it gave us a bargaining chip of a sort. And the rest remains to be seen, but I've got a feeling that sorry, this cough. I got a feeling Cordelia is not long for this world.
Oh. Oh, that's not good.
I care to elaborate?
If Cordelia dies, that means that the capital has fallen.
Which would be a bad thing in general, because the demons are a force to be reckoned with, but a good thing for your people in the long run. The elves, I mean.
In a sense,
assuming
it does assist with some matters. What happens when you kill the queen of a hive, Ulrich?
Well, I suppose it depends what kind of hive it is, but eventually some creatures will have already gone through the process of creating new queens, while others are going to die out.
Die out, scatter, perish along with her, yes. All of those are not good. The more forces we have against the demons, the better. But also, vampires unchecked are worse than what we have now.
Yes, that is true, and I could see Noel certainly enlisting their aid.
It is worth mentioning that Necrata's contract does pass on to its successors, and we would know if they had broken it.
Which was part of my reasoning here, of course. Dumb as it may have been. Look, where's Jarl? Where's Carl?
Carl's back with the army. Says Marius, speaking up, watching all this happen.
I wasn't sure how long I was out, really. So, I mean, I have an idea. We're missing one magic caster currently.
By my count, 2.
2. I thought, okay, so Rift, Carl.
Oh, if you count
one of
Rift,
the elves.
Yes. Then we're missing 1.
I mean, I have to hope that Rift has some magic, because I have exactly 2 suppositions here. I don't know. I know a fair amount about magic, but I'm certainly not studied like Carl would be.
Sure,
So,
I was
supposition number 1.
I was just speaking on the elements that I knew of currently. The
Of
three
course.
that we have.
Right. Well, supposition 1 here. Cordelia's in danger. Shit's about to get real. Carl can teleport. If we could get her out of that, then she is, as far as I could tell, powerful. If she is powerful in magic, I cannot say. She does have in her employ the Baroness, who did seem to be a caster. Those are options. And then my other supposition is sometimes magic is bolstered by sacrifice. I ain't fucking long for this, and technically I'm already a dead man. Perhaps I could offer myself as some sort of sacrifice.
What kind of sacrifice?
No. Well, I don't know. I don't fully understand or know what kind of magics we're going to be employing here. But if we're missing a wizard, a mage, and it could be offset by the sacrifice of whatever counts for a life for a vampire, or whatever it is that I am currently. I don't know. It's just an option we didn't talk about. And more importantly, maybe we can get Cordelia or the Baroness, or both, and potentially fill up 1 or 2 slots.
There is,
unless anyone has another idea.
There is validity in seeking out powerful casters, but you wish to go to Maynir, where Orcus is, to retrieve the queen. And might I remind you, Maynir is shielded. We won't be able to teleport directly in.
Yes, I hear you. But unless we have another caster on hand, that is the only options that I can think of.
Well, I think we have some pretty high confidence there are several spellcasters on hand. Reynard said it would take the efforts of several people to maintain that temporary wall they've put up. The fact that it still stands is evidence of their continued survival.
That is okay. Fair. Then we don't need anyone other than those people. So we just need to burst through.
So I guess the other question I have, says Reynard, is so how do we get out of the abyss once we bring the tear down, and what don't we still have to deal with these demons on this side once the tear's down?
All right, red string time. We'll explain to him the conclusion that Carl got to, which was that the portals that we've encountered that the demons have been using here on the material plane have been powered by a creature. When that creature was killed, the portal collapsed, but also it sucked back through everything that had ever gone through it. And those creatures were all kind of shoved back out on the side they started off with. It didn't suck us back through the other way after we killed it, so we probably will still need to find our own way back out of the abyss, but there's a decent chance that it will deal with some to a large portion of the demons. I'm not going to be optimistic and say all of them, but let's say some to a large portion of the demons might get ripped back through as a result of us doing that. So the harder problem we should be able to deal with, and then we just have the easy notion of break out of hell.
That's a future gang problem. It's like those guys, they'll figure that out. They're smart guys. I know them.
So Reynard asks you to tell him a little bit more about your interaction with the small portal itself, and I assume you do, correct?
Yeah, everything that we know. I will leave out the part where Zippo set the barn on fire.
Okay.
But
one thing that happened that you recall about you recounting the story is that you had some of the group was on one side of the portal, and some of the group was on the other side of the portal. It seemed that it took at least a round for the portal to fully close once it started collapsing.
Yeah, I think we actually got maybe 2 or 3 rounds to dash through.
I think it was just one round. Because I think somebody dove through at the last second.
Yarvik.
Yeah.
Like when you close the garage door.
Yarvik was already through. Yarvik was thinking about diving through back the other way, not knowing that the party had come through. Unfortunately, he didn't, because he would have been cut off with 3 demons and most certainly have died.
There should be some time to jump back out through, at least a few seconds. Hopefully more, but
up to 6 seconds, in fact.
Yeah, enough time to make a daring escape. And frankly, I wasn't going to worry about that part of the plan until we finished the more pressing issue of getting there and closing the gate.
Yeah, we've been around so much a lot lately. Like, we're gonna make plans to maybe potentially live in the abyss if we don't make it back out. Yeah.
Well, I can prepare some protective spells for if we need to stay there for an extended period of time, depending on where since none of us have been to the Abyss before, and I assume Carl hasn't, I can't imagine that he has. I'm not sure how accurately we'll be able to travel to wherever it is that this tear is on the Abyss. So I will make sure that we are prepared for such a journey. But the problem at hand still stands, and the question is, when do you wish to strike? It seems like we're of a conclusion now to make a plunge to get to the center of the embankment around the tear, but it seems like there's not much more of a plan than that. Is that correct?
Look, if you've got a better idea, you tell us at any time.
It's more of a concept of a plan. Just kind of winging this as we go.
How did you get here so quickly?
Carl casting long-distance transportation spells to get us to the wall, then we walked across, and then we cast another one. Apparently he can do 2 of those per day.
He was able to teleport 1,000 people?
Extra-dimensional space may have been involved. If you have a bag large enough to fit 1,000 people, though, perhaps.
I don't. I've never heard of such a thing. And quite frankly, I've seen many die from attempting such things. Extra-dimensional spaces are not known for their habitational properties. And because the wall is up, I doubt we can teleport inside that circle. It's too close.
We might have to ask those Eternal guys nicely, see if they can let us in.
I mean, I expect they need to keep it up for good reason, but I'm sure they're capable of giving us a door, perhaps.
Maybe kind of like a doggy door, and we just kind of sneak through the bottom.
I think one of you mentioned creating a distraction so that we could get through at one point.
Yeah, I don't think we're just going to barge right on in there. We may have to draw away a few thousand demons.
I mean, whoever we send off to be the distraction, we are sending to their deaths.
Hey, right here.
That's always been the question, right? Like, we've been dancing around this subject, but that's the heart of the matter. Everything that we've brought, all of the forces that we've brought, arrayed against the enemy, they're a distraction. And we need to be able to accept that that's a one-way trip for them, and it may be for us. So, I mean, we don't know. But
frankly, we would need to send thousands to be even a target for the horde of demons this large. They saw us, certainly, when we were walking over here, and the tiniest of groups peeled off to attack us, and that was it.
Is there
that's not a big enough distraction.
Is there anything we can do to fake it till you make it? Is there a glamour? Is there something that we can do to make this group appear larger or more threatening than it is?
Earthworks, but we don't have time. I mean, if we had the time to move a mountain of dirt, 3,000 people with shovels can easily look like 10,000. But those kind of plans take days. It took us half a day just to walk here, and I would want to fill all of that with trenches. With 10 times the force, we could do it overnight, perhaps, but I got the impression from Rift that that we need to act quickly with what we have.
Yeah, normally attacking from above is a force multiplier, but the dragons are completely occupied. Otherwise, I mean, that just gets a lot easier. No easy answer here.
I mean, we can get airborne. Just the 5 of us with a couple of polymorphs. But we won't be bringing much of anyone with us.
If the goal is just to get to the barrier and then figure out a way to penetrate the barrier...
Who do we need to get to the barrier? Just the 5 of us? Reynard, one other wizard here, and Carl?
Sounds about right. To my mind, that was always the plan. Get our group through the barrier, through the rift, and then if that's what we can do, that's what we can do. We were just going to figure it out once we got there.
Well, here's a cynical take, and a plan that might work. March the armies on the field, to them sound the horns, and we fly in from the other side.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about consigning 3,500 men and elves to their deaths. But...
Nor am I, says Marius.
But that plan would get us in there.
It would. Potentially. It has a chance. What if it was present a force that defensively continues to withdraw, luring the army out more and more?
Powerful.
The only risk is if they do not engage or only engage a modicum. Or if they engage with the full force. Either way, not great. One has a little bit more disastrous consequences than the other, but...
I mean, that's doable. It would be easier with time to prepare trenches and traps. But I assume that we want to start this tomorrow. Whatever plan we choose.
Which means no reinforcements. This is all we have.
Rift says he can't land. No, the dragons cannot fly forever. 4 days, enough to bring the remainder of Seregen's forces here, will be too much.
And he's already been up for 3. At least if he hasn't been able to land.
I think we need to act as soon as possible, at first light. Maybe
he favors the bold and the swift.
Okay, how many people are we trying to bring in? What's the over under on our polymorphs here? How many of Zippo's spell slots are we committing to this harebrained plan?
Ironically enough, I have a odd question, right? So, just judging by how Carl got us here, he obviously has some way to shrink his cart into pocket size, right? So what if, instead of, everybody getting polymorphed and flying over, taking the chance of getting hit, everybody that we're taking get into the thing, he shrinks down, he polymorphs into like an owl or something, and then just carries it. It'd be a lot more stealthy and harder to notice, and he'll be faster. And owls are harder to hit than most, bigger animals when they're flying, so. That way it conserves as many spell slots as possible and gets us there quicker and safer.
I was thinking the Quetzalcoatl form just because hit points. Right?
No, he's kind of onto something, because if we're flying into a couple Quetzalcoatls, that's going to draw a lot of attention. If it's just some random bird, that anonymity is a lot of armor, and we can fly high enough that I doubt a marksman would be able to hit us if they even knew what it was.
I can cast Pass Without Trace or even invisibility on him. We could be an invisible owl, a single flyer.
Yeah,
that's got to count for something. Sure.
Because the only two downsides to this plan is, one, we won't be able to do anything if something happens to him. We're basically going to be setting ducks wherever we land, and Carl's fucked. Two, in his bird form, he's going to be thinking like an owl unless he has some way to negate that.
Yeah, that's the downside.
That's the only two downsides.
Well, okay, similar idea. Sorry. Is that our only means of flight? Maybe Carl's got a means of flight for one of us, and we can have Carl take the form of, I don't know, like a spider or something that we can keep in a cup easily. And then we just squish the spider to have it break its concentration, and he's back. Obviously, a flying person's going to draw a lot more attention, but
Roger,
something.
You have the ability to go invisible. Is there anything that you can do there?
I can cast it on anyone that I can touch. It doesn't have to be me. It lasts for an hour. Plenty of time to get somebody in.
Right. So you turn someone invisible, someone is flying, and we use Carl as a bug or something we can keep contained.
Well, actually, Roger, you've got wings that can fly.
Oh fuck! Right, you can fly.
Yep.
So
yeah, well,
so we could just have. So what we do, here's ideal plan. Everybody except Roger and Carl go into Carl's house, shrink.
Right.
Carl polymorphs into something small enough to sit on Roger. Roger flies with his wings and turns himself invisible. They can't. Well, I mean, I'm assuming some of the demons probably have some kind of like true sight, so they're probably gonna see you. But you might be able to make it in quick enough with your wings, and you'll be hard enough to hit because you'll be invisible for the ones that aren't. That it might, speed us through.
Well, and true sight is short distance, right?
I don't have it. I don't have it. I assume
assumptions. We haven't faced a lot of demons. It's hard to say.
Well, this is the best plan we have yet, and it lets us bring way more than just us, right? We can bring, well...
Yep.
Well, we don't want to have too big of an army, because if our situation does come up that we close the portal and we have to get out fast, only so many people are going to be able to get out that quickly.
But we don't have to bring them all inside the portal. We can leave defenders with...
There you go.
With Relic and bring in only those who need to come in. In fact, we could take an even well, let's say 500 from each army and leave the rest here.
Yep. Essentially, just give them a taste of their own medicine. You know, they like having hordes of enemies pop out of portals. We can do that.
I like it.
I like this plan.
I also like the part where we don't have to make a death stand outside on the plain. But being surrounded by demons and that doesn't sound great either. But at least we'll be in the right place. Says Marius.
Yeah.
I think other than that, we should probably, before we wrap up, to get ready for this plan in the morning, we should definitely sending Rift to see if he can get himself, if he is available, and any other spellcasters he might know that are readily available. That way he'll know the plan, so maybe he can have one of the spellcasters that's not, maintaining the wall, kind of switch places, and they'll have more of a defensible force inside, so that we can get hopefully the required number of spellcasters, or at least close to it.
Proud of you guys, remembering your equipment and everything. It's great.
Thank you, other people, for remembering my equipment. It has been literally months since I've even had the occasion to use this.
We have things and stuff.
Yeah, whenever someone asks about your invisibility, I was like, wait a minute, Roger has something else.
I went out of my way to get something that I could fly with too, which is the shameful part. I should have remembered.
I couldn't remember if I had a shield earlier or not.
All right, so I think the plan is the clown car, right? The clown cart.
Hell yeah.
The clown cart, I guess.
Look, this party is full of clowns. This is the only possible plan that we could come up with.
Okay, so to just get this straight, Roger, you are going to be with Carl, transporting the cart filled with the army, flying over the demons straight for the other side, upon which you'll land. Carl will be depolymorphed, I guess by squishing him. Is that the plan? Did I hear that right?
Well, he can just drop polymorph.
If it's his own spell, he can just drop concentration.
Okay, so we're having Carl cast polymorph. Got it. I wasn't, because the plan was originally Zippo casting, so I didn't follow that. So Carl will polymorph, turn into an insect, depolymorph on the other side, and then the gate will be resized and the army will flood out before Carl will then use a gate to get the chosen select through into the abyss. Correct?
Yes, that sounds right.
Okay, now that the plan has been set, of course nothing's going to go wrong, because that's not how narrative works. So, sounds like a plan to me. So, what is the party's actions between then and now? I am assuming that we are at least resting the night, because Carl needs to regenerate his gate spell. So, what is the preparations for tomorrow? So that we can enact those and move into the next day.
Should we raid Carl's potion stash for anything useful?
If we still have sending possibles, we should definitely let Rift know of the plan. That way he can also tell us, because I didn't think about this till now, if that's like the other wall, it's going to be rough going over it, because nobody could cross the other wall. I could be wrong on that one, but
we can tell Rift the plan. I think the only important question to ask is where to land. Because that spot may be obvious, but it might not be.
That's fair.
All right. Do you have a way of communicating it? I would say you have several sending spells because Jordan, but Jordan hasn't met Rift. And I believe that's an important attribute of it. But you do have one sending scroll left, correct?
That one's for emergencies.
Okay.
Also, I thought we did use Jordan to contact.
Jordan. So we're
Rift.
going to just say that that's going to continue then. Yeah, you did. You described Rift enough, or we'll make it work. Rift does have a ring, so potentially there is something there that kind of contradicts that spell in that way. Since he's a ring holder, he's able to communicate with him through sending. I'm gonna officiate that as not a mistake by me, but an actual piece of lore. So,
The feature.
It's very nice to be the DM sometimes. All right. So, what are we telling Rift in 25 words or less? It doesn't have to be. You don't have to count it out. Just try and keep it succinct as to what you want to tell him. Just to make sure that we have things communicated, but we're not belaboring it at this point, right? Especially because Jordan has multiple sending spells, so...
Ultimately, the information we're communicating. We're going to fly in invisibly, bringing a small small or mixed defensive force. Probably tomorrow morning. We want to. We have come for your spellcasters. Where should we land? Right. And then that perhaps we can talk more in depth and for like the fourth or fifth time explain the thing that we're trying to do.
I think Rift, through a general sense of communication, has gotten kind of the gist of what you're about. You've, I think, communicated in some sense that you have an idea for bringing down the wall. One thing you do know about the gate is that it can be 5 to 20 feet in diameter. So in theory, Rift might be able to fit through that gate. I believe, so diameter is, 20 feet. So let's see, if Rift is gargantuan.
He's gargantuan. That'd be a squeeze, but he could make it. But if Rift can't make it, hopefully there are other spellcasters there.
2 others, yeah.
Frankly, if they don't, we don't have another plan, right?
Assuming Rift is, a very old dragon, I'm sure he has ways to shapeshift at least a little bit.
Yeah,
possibly.
Yeah.
I think we've met at least one dragon that was.
If not, he can do like a flowing dive and wrap his wings around himself like a burrito, kind of do like a spin move.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah.
A rift raft.
Okay, so Rift responds to this message. He's clearly nervous about putting all the eggs in one flying basket, but he's in full support of getting reinforcements. He asks that tomorrow, when you're ready, to let him know, and he will enact a plan to kind of assist in distracting the enemy so that you don't become too much of a target. He says many of the creatures within this mass are likely to be able to spot you clearly. but being just one might be of an advantage. So, he says Nexus is a good spellcaster and would be able to Nexus and Nesset would both be good options if he can't come, but he states that if he can come, he will.
Okay.
Sounds like the plan's a go.
Yep.
Wow, we asked Rift if he can come. He RSVP'd with other people. That's fun.
Ideal, really.
Yeah.
Yep. The other thing he says is the landing point. So he communicates that the landing point would be anywhere between the wall and the front line of the army. There should be plenty of locations to land, but once landed and uncloaked, you're going to want to spread that space out and move people out of the way so that the army can get through. But they're going to need to be ready to fight as soon as you land. So it's going to be kind of like D-Day, where you're going to land and unfurl the boat, and then they're going to be having to rush out and go right into battle.
We will communicate that to our soldiers. I'm sure that the most important people will if we phrase it in such a way that it sounds glorious, we can get people fighting over who goes first.
All right. So with that being communicated, all that's left is to prepare. Marius selects many members of the army on his half to come. Each of the nobles has volunteered with some of their men, and there are others that come along with them. They leave strong warriors behind as well, in case there needs to be another force on the exterior as well. And he puts one of his generals in charge of this group. It's about half of his force is coming with you, of course, based on what instructions you gave. Reynard and the other leadership roles pick out strong fighters, fighters that are mainly akin to melee, since they're going to be on the front lines of defending. There is a number that are also going to be arranged to kind of assist with any anti-air, since there are airborne elements in play as well.
I have done the math with the cloak's 60-foot fly speed. For an hour, I can get a little bit over around about 6 miles of travel with Longstrider, putting that up to a 70-foot fly speed. That would be almost 8 miles of distance that I could traverse in an hour. So like we can play it safe and call it 7, but that's still plenty to get from well on the outside all the way to where we need to go.
Yep.
Without us having to get like super close to the demons, and then I cast invisibility.
Yeah. Nah, boo boo, and then you go invisible. Yeah, no.
Right. Yeah. No, we're going to avoid that.
Yeah. They're like, you're right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Does the party? So at this point, anybody who's has the ability to prepare spells should do so and select spells that they would like for not only tomorrow but potentially the final encounter at the Abyss. This is the probably the last night of the campaign at this point. So
do I get the effects of a long rest? Anything keeping me from getting the effects of a long rest? DM? Just making sure.
You have your coffin, so you're good.
Okay, cool.
But you are very hungry.
Hungry. Yes, I.
Are you going to try and satisfy that tonight, or are you going to hold off?
I think Ulrich is going to, out of spite. Yeah, you know what? He will turn to Roger and finally do what he should have done a long time ago. And say, so, look, I know I'm a liability. I'm looking for advice. I'm looking for counsel here. Should I even bother and trying to find some food, as it were? I'm using this word very grossly right now. Or my instinct is to, out of spite for what I've done for myself, try and push through. So I guess my question for you is, are you willing to just let me fall and don't put yourself at risk if I fall?
And Roger's not really sure how to respond to this.
Yeah, you don't have to. Like, I guess.
I mean, I'm torn. I want you to do the right thing.
Roger, I've tried to do nothing but the right thing here, but I clearly made a misstep. So, I guess my instinct, so you know, is to say, fuck it, and try and maintain this little bit of humanity I have left, and go hungry. But I recognize that I may fall at an inconvenient time. I'm not asking you to make the moral judgment here. I'm asking you to make the tactical judgment here. Are you concerned? Is my potential risk here going to absolutely fuck us over? And who knows what's on the other side, or do you think that we can muscle through?
All deaths are inconvenient. None of them come at a good time.
Fuck vampirism it is. I'm going hungry.
Good. But
great.
Try to drink some demon blood maybe while we're there.
Yeah, I've heard it's not really good for me, but
neither is going to the abyss. But we're doing that too.
No.
So.
Exactly.
Promise me you won't drink any of us.
Any of you? First off, funny of you to ask me to make a promise, but yes, I'm about to make a pact.
Oh.
If I go to drink any of you while you are still fully alive, may I perish on the spot.
You swear this?
You feel a cold wash run over you.
Oh.
There you go. And I mean it. If we need someone to make the sacrifice, it's me. That's been my whole fucking goal here the entire time. I will make any sacrifice I deem necessary for success here.
Die a hero before you live long enough to become the villain?
Well, I'd like to live long enough to be an eternal and benevolent king, but I know you don't really like that idea, which...
Hey, look, I'm with you on that already. I'm going to take Orcus' seat if we get stuck in there.
All right.
Frankly, Zippo, all of the the problems that you're suggesting, as abhorrent as they are so far out of context for me. I don't even have the heart to discourage you. If that's a thing you're capable of, I never had a hope of stopping you in the first place.
That is very valid.
It's not that I'm not concerned, it's that I have no idea how I would even begin to approach solving it.
Fair.
Ulrich's problems are smaller.
Yeah. All right. There's a few things I'm gonna prepare here. I'm gonna keep lesser restoration. I'm gonna keep.
Remove curse.
I think I'm gonna get rid of. Yes, keep remove curse. I'm gonna keep spirit shroud. I feel like that might be well. You know what? Instead of spirit shroud, I'm gonna go for revivify.
Powerful.
I need to talk to Carl and see if he has diamonds worth 300 gold.
If he doesn't,
Anyone?
I have some spare money, but no spare gemstones.
It's gemstones that I need. They're going to be lost in the process. But I feel like that might be useful.
I'll see what potions I can procure from Carl.
You ask after the gems too, that might be good. That way I don't get tempted to eat them.
What's your plan, Shade? What are the gems for?
Revivify.
Revivify.
Oh, okay.
Material component, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I feel like Dispel Magic might be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be it. Just Dispel Magic, remove curse, revivify, lesser restoration. I'm going to keep Fine Seed because... Yeah, I've got that. Detect Magic. I don't feel like Detect Good and Evil is going to be useful.
I think we'll be able to determine the fiends, at least, just by looking at them.
Is there evil? Look around.
Also, you might ping on half the party. I think I'm comfortable saying that Roger's probably not lawful evil with all of this being concerned about the lives of the men and so forth, but no promises on Ulrich and Zippo.
Specifically detect planar evil.
We're good.
Hey, I'm chaotic neutral.
I think we just do good things in a bad way sometime.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. Alright. I'm all spelled out. I got protection for good and evil loaded.
My spell list is looking pretty good.
Your spell list is the key to success. Let's see. Zippo, you don't have anything to prepare, correct?
No, I just know all my stuff.
Yeah. And then Jaeger, anything spell-wise for you?
I'm good to go as far as spells go. I don't think I have anything that I'm not. Let me check here. Spells. Yep, everything's recharged.
Marius is able to provide gemstones, for your case, and you're each able to get a healing potion each to utilize. In fact, he can provide 2. Let's see. I just gotta check on the wording of the healing potions for 5th edition.
Mm-hmm.
Say I would be looking for the biggest healing potion possible because, healing a d6 of damage not super useful at our level.
Correct. Yeah.
To supersize this.
Potion of Healing Supreme is the one that you're looking for.
He has superiors.
Superiors, got it. Did you say 2 or 1?
He has he has one of each. He has one supreme and one superior for each person.
Oh damn!
Wow,
nice.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. The rest, he has a feeling he's going to be chugging alongside the other casters. So.
Where the fuck is my
ocean? Oh god, adding things to. I'll just write down that I haven't and figure out how to add it to D&D Beyond later.
Yeah, that's what I was just trying. I was like, how do we do that again?
Ocean of Supreme Healing, Ocean of Superior Healing. All right.
Yeah, I just write down their equation in my notes and just cut and paste as necessary. If I can't find them.
All right. Anybody else have anything they'd like to do before the night ends?
Any luck on the diamonds with Carl?
Marius got them, I think.
Marius got, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yep. Cool. Was it exactly for like 1 or how many worth?
How many are you asking for?
It's 300. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
it's 300.
We'll return the ones we won't use.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say that you'd likely approach Marius and say, "Hey, Mary, I need this amount of diamonds for this spell, right?" And he'll be like, "Yeah, here you go." But if you're like, "Hey, Marius, give me all the diamonds you got," he's not going to do that, right?
Right. I mean, I think I would explain to him that I can
bring people back to life.
People, potentially up to 3 people, provided I have the spell or the energy to do it, and the resources to do it. So we're looking for somewhere between 300, 600, and 900 GP worth of diamonds, depending on how much he's carrying.
Yeah, just after 1,000 to be safe.
Yeah, his expedition diamonds that he's carrying with him, he unfortunately only has a few, so he only has enough for 1.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. Cheap. Worth asking. Come on.
All right. Members of the army keep watch overnight. There are some small wandering demonic sort that wander into the forest, but are extinguished before they are even encounter the full force. It seems like there are still rampant evil wandering about the plains and areas within Relic, kind of hinting that there's a much larger infestation at play than just the organized army of demons. And you've kind of seen evidence of this throughout in your many different types of encounters throughout. There are not just bad things that were already here, but there are worse things that have evolved because of it, right? So a few encounters of such happen and are reported in that if you are awake to overhear, you do. If you do take a watch or are aware of things. Otherwise, if you're sleeping, you probably wake up in the morning and find out about it. So either way. Anybody having any discussions with anybody before we continue?
I mean, I'm gonna be setting up for a watch, obviously, and I might go chat with Carl while that's going on, just to pass along the plan again, make sure that he's on board, since he and I are the ones that are actually going to be at risk for that, and get the sequence of everything down. And I don't know, I've got 1,000 gold pieces burning in my pocket. Maybe I could spend some of it.
Sure. Yeah, so you go to Carl, you explain the plan, you spend some of your money on things to assist you. Carl seems excited to turn himself into a dragonfly and finds it funny. He just warns not to crush him because it would be a shame to plummet into a demon horde and have the entire army stuck in his cart as he dies. So, and he says this all kind of with a straight face, but like a smile in his eyes. Like this is very much a thing that could happen, but
please do not.
Yeah, please do not.
I promise I will not squish you intentionally. But that's all that I think I'm going to do. And
Okay. Anybody else?
Belzian would give the old, well, look how far we've come. What an adventure, eh, everybody? Give a big thumbs up and just pass right out. A true athlete, you got to get your beauty sleep.
Ulrich will drag his coffin as far away from everyone as he can.
Yarvik is going to enjoy a good smoke, and maybe some smoked sausage or something.
The boat is passing out.
One thing that Carl gives Roger with his discussion is an emergency wand. It has one charge left. It has a glowing red crystal on the end of it. And he says they may not feel fully the effects of fire, but it'll at least make them hurt.
Can I even use wands?
Yes, you can now.
Awesome.
You know why?
I
Because you can cast spells.
Oh, is that the only requirement in
I believe so.
in 5e?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
And there are feats that just straight up give you actual spell casting, which is interesting.
Yeah, well, 5e actually does not require... a wand is considered a magic item, and anyone can technically use a magic item. Unless it has
you're thinking of scrolls, aren't you, Amethyst?
Scrolls. In 3rd edition, scrolls are also magic items, and have different rules from wands, which have different rules from regular items with other costs. And yes, you do have to have like the spell on your spell list or something like that to use a wand in 3rd edition. Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah. Well, in 5th edition, that's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Spell or scrolls was the case, but I think they updated that in D&D 24.
Mm-hmm.
See.
So they've streamlined it even further so that anyone can do anything.
Well, yeah, and I would say in my house rules, even if that wasn't the case, scrolls would still work for us.
I'm definitely kind of on the page of it's probably fine for it to work with everybody can just use any scroll. Of course, then why do potions need to exist? But
and I mean, I look at that as why do I have soft phones, cell phones, and landlines? Why are those three things around, right?
Landlines also don't need to exist anymore. That's a different conversation.
They sure don't, but there are value to them sometimes. Like, for example, a payphone, and you've lost your phone.
Speaking of land,
different strokes for different folks.
Speaking of land lines and the land that we must defend, and the lines of folks lining up to get into Carl's cart, we are going to kind of fast forward to that soldiers have been selected by both armies. And begin. The human army kind of understanding what's going on, troop into the cart one after the other dutifully, while the elves kind of like the fuck as they kind of go in and look around and wonder. Right.
First time.
Yeah. So, Reynard, of course, is coming and is leading this force as well as one other leader, while the other three stay behind to muster the rest of the forces alongside the general that Marius is leaving behind to lead the forces. You'll note that none of the nobles are in the backup force. They are all going in to the center of this war, for better or worse.
I can't imagine a single one of them choosing to be the coward and stay behind.
Yes, although none of them wish to go, if I were to be honest. All of them don't want to, but don't want to also be the one that does not. So
only one of them really has to volunteer for them all to feel like they have to. Right. Exactly. And Ulrich is going.
Right, exactly. Yep. So ultimately, there's a pretty good representation of leadership being in the front lines to this final conflict, or at least hopefully final conflict, right? That being said, we are now ready to go. So anything left to do? Anybody have anything?
We long rested, right?
Yes. So go ahead and click that long rest button.
I think that's it.
Okay. Awesome. All right. With the army packed in the cart, the party now enters the cart as well, and kind of turns to look at Roger and Carl as Carl kind of waves goodbye and says, "Have fun storming the castle." I couldn't resist. And he kind of exchanges a glance to you, Roger. Ready?
And Roger walks back. Ready as it gets. Are we close enough for us to take flight now, or are we like hoofing it for an hour or so and then taking flight?
Well, we could take one of these horses here, I think. As he closes the door and begins shrinking the cart.
So let's get as close as we need to. I've got an hour of flight and an hour of invisibility, but we don't want it to be so close that that we're using every last foot of that distance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair. All right, feel free to move the piece out to where you'd like to move it. Do you want to do stealth? How long does your invisibility last, I guess is the question.
It's 1 hour on each of them. They both last the same amount of time.
Okay.
Which is incredibly convenient.
And neither one of them is a concentration, correct?
Invisibility is concentration.
Okay.
The flight is not. It's just an item.
That's right.
So I can do both.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that's the distance, and that's about where we want to drop, right?
Yeah.
Inside of there.
Yep.
So this that square, I think, was the one that I was on.
Yeah.
We'll move to here.
Correct. Okay.
And then once we're here, turn invisible, and Carl polymorph, and I unfurl my wings and fly. And maybe even cast a long strider before that, which is not a concentration spell, thank goodness.
Yep.
And also lasts exactly an hour.
All right. So you're going to have kind of three things in quick succession, like within like 6 seconds of each other, and boop, boop, boop at the end. But you're activating one after the other. Carl says a prayer to the 12 and then says, "See you on the other side, kid." And he kind of does a little bit of a twirl as he polymorphs and kind of flutters in place as a dragonfly and flies up to you and lands on your hand.
Kid, I've got to be twice your age. And Roger will turn invisible and cast Longstrider and take flight. Probably not in that order. I think invisibility has to be the last one.
I would say probably the best course of action.
Yeah. Gain flight, then increase movement speed, then become invisible.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's go. And we'll get high enough up in the air that a fall would definitely kill us, and that also we're probably out of longbow range.
Okay.
So at 200-ish feet in the air, maybe higher. High enough that nobody would notice the dragonfly.
Right. Okay. So you rise up and are immediately able to see over the lip of the caldera. The only thing keeping you from being able to really see into it too much is the gentle rise of it going up to the lip of it and then going down. Once you rise up, you're kind of able to see the bowl spill out above, below you. The demons have made ground since yesterday. They are closer in. I'm not going to annotate that on the map because there's just too many of them to move in any capacity except to remove them, which obviously we are not doing in this case. So you see that the army has made progress, and if they're moving at the same rate as you estimate they were from yesterday to today, they will overtake this embankment by the evening. This is the final day you would estimate of this final stand.
Yep, that's kind of what we figured, but it's nice to see that I'm right even at my most cynical.
Yeah. Roger's cynicality paid off in this case for sure.
Good. We can die knowing Roger was right. Awesome.
I get to die happy. I predicted all of these bad things, and I was right every time.
Now that you're invisible, you see that there are actually forces at work that were not visible to you before. You see that there are in the air creatures that seem to be made up of gas and air, but are also invisible. Give me an intelligence check, please.
Sure.
Or history
Just
check.
flat?
History check, sorry.
Those two things are identical for me.
Correct.
But I actually rolled pretty decently.
Okay.
18.
Do you remember that rock encounter that you had?
Yeah, the things that confused me, and Roger lost sight of what was going on for a bit.
Yeah. They seem similar to that. They seem to be kind of in a similar shape and movement as to that encounter. They seem to kind of be floating around in the air, moving around at toward targets, but there's also some that are kind of down on the ground, chewing away at the front lines. Some of the front lines have faltered some because they are fighting each other, and so the demons seem to be making progress through that kind of coercion. Some of the ones that are on the front lines have also seem to be being taken care of or being slain, but others seem to be doing the demon work for them.
Interesting. That'll be definitely something to be aware of. Wherever we try to land, it will need to be far away from those if we can.
Yes.
I will take some care to not get too close to them in the air, and if I see any heading for me, I'll maybe do some small evasive maneuvers.
Okay. Awesome.
But otherwise, pressing on and forward.
All right. You move over the lip and see that there are some demons that are also kind of burrowing into the ground, potentially trying to get behind the enemy line. But they're pretty far out, so you're not sure why they are burrowing like out here in this area in the back. Maybe there's just not enough room for them to press forward, and they're tired of climbing on each other, so they're digging beneath. But for whatever the case, it seems like they are creating some sort of entrenchment or whatnot. You also see some evidence of structures on the edge, edge of the caldera, as if they're kind of carving out little hovels for themselves and making themselves at home. Maybe demons that have grown bored of the battle and are kind of thinking that it's already won and carving out a place for themselves. Who knows? But that's definitely something of note that you weren't expecting. Do you press on?
Yes. Absolutely, just moving forward.
Okay. You catch sight of Rift flying through the air up above and realize that we have not signaled Rift yet.
True.
So he seems to be currently trying to distract two Balors who are chasing after him. And he's kind of flying different maneuvers, trying to lead them into rocks that are kind of swooping toward him in the opposite direction so that they can land blows on them without engaging.
I will, at regular intervals, call out to Rift over the rings and let him know that we are en route.
Okay.
If he's swinging out, this far, I'll let him know.
Okay. I'll let you know if he responds.
Yeah.
So far, he is not close enough.
Yep.
Do you want to fly toward him a little bit more in your path, or do you want to keep going the way you are?
Not while he's still fighting two Balors. If he seems like he gets perhaps something of a break, maybe. Otherwise, we are going to appear when we appear, and it will either be convenient for him or not.
Yep. All right, you move further in, and you see kind of just the devastation of bodies that you see laying about from the defeated forces and rent armor of hollowed men. There are some dragons that have fallen in battle that you can see kind of the carcasses of, sadly enough, kind of being swarmed upon or eaten. Some great beasts that have been engaged in the battle have been chewed completely clean. It's down to the bone on both sides. Great demonic beasts that have been devoured by the army around them, as well as fallen comrades. Those who will not receive a proper burial because they all but don't exist anymore over the grind of war. You are now approaching the edge of the battle, the conflict proper, or at least where it was before it had grown inward. You see now clearly that the Eternals that are encircled all around the wall, probably number in the hundreds, all dedicated to the task of keeping the wall up. They are all turned their backs to the war itself, solely focused on the task of keeping the wall up. Behind them is a mass of people with magical barriers that they're kind of defending attacks from, or firing out and trying to keep enemies at bay as the main flying forces of the enemy kind of trying to attack these. Every once in a while, you do see that the demon horde is able to pick off one or more of the Eternals. They are not immune to the conflict itself. With each death, you see that the wall kind of shudders slightly. The tentacles kind of tremble and vibrate before kind of going about their normal writhe. So far that the wall still stands. You do see that there's a sizable force within this area that they are defending. They have about a mile left. It looks like the original battle was maybe a wider circle, but they closed their ranks to defend a smaller area so that they wouldn't be stretched so thin. And the final barrier being, of course, the wall itself. I would like you to give me, now that you are in the center, the climax of the battle, I need you to make a stealth check for me. Yes, you are invisible, so you're going to be rolling an advantage, but actually just roll straight for me, because, being invisible and there being others that are invisible, they will also be able to see you, so there's no advantage there, and that's who you're trying to hide from.
Well, thanks, reliable talent. I rolled a 10 anyway. 23.
Okay. I should have had this up.
I'll be presenting the slim side profile, or hiding behind low-lying clouds and other such things whenever one of them's looking at me to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also perhaps just taking advantage of distance. And trying to look unimportant and far away.
Okay. You seem to evade notice. Maybe it's because you are a sole person flying under guise, or with the conflict of battle or whatnot. But it seems like with Earnesty, the forces that you are allied with have, with the morning light, given the demons something to contend, and so they're solely focused on the attempt. They seem to be reinvigorated by something, these demons. They are a lot less sloth-like than they were yesterday. Perhaps they have received some good news from back home, or from their leader, knowing what you know about the queen, that is. Whatever the case might be, you successfully are able to fly into the circle of safety. At that point, you are close enough to Rift that you're able to let him know that you are here. What do you say?
Greetings, of course, and also the current status of things. We have an army in a pocket, and apologies for not sending the message sooner.
Oh, you're here. He says in his rumbling voice, I will be a few moments. He says after a pause. He seems to be in either deep thought or great effort, and being that you've seen him flying many times in the sky, you can see why. All right, so do you land?
Yeah. I definitely don't want to be sitting up here in the air. We'll get behind those magical barriers if we can, to give the army a chance to get out.
Yep.
If that's not a thing I can fly behind, then we'll be dropping out in front of it. But
yeah, so there's some casters that have like erected magical barriers that they're kind of they're shields basically. Basically like yeah, they're shields. So ultimately, you are able to kind of get to a place where there's many people, and you tell them to kind of clear out of that area some so that you can provide kind of an exit path for the army. Carl tries to do a spin back out with his dragonfly form and instead ends up tumbling to the ground. Didn't quite make the dismount, but here we are. And he gets up, dusts himself off, and looks around and kind of stops being jokingly as like, right, to business. And he begins returning his cart to the proper size. I fear this might be the end to my shop. Roger, I hope it's worth it.
Well, we've saved the lives of about 3,000 people, at least for the next few hours. And if we succeed, for quite a lot longer than that.
Is the wings of flying 3 days or 3 hours or...
3 hours until they recharge. So I was just going through and finally clicking all of the things on the Beyond...
Yeah.
D&D Beyond for that, and yeah.
Yep,
so,
appreciate it.
Yeah, 3 hours till I can use them again.
Okay. All right. Group, you are, since you're at the door, the first to exit the cart. Marius follows closely behind and basically begins bellowing orders. This is the Marius that you haven't seen. You've seen Marius playing diplomat for quite some time, or following the lead of the party, since they knew the terrain better and listened intently. This is his element, and you can kind of see him go into motion as if a blade is remembering how to swing itself. He starts bellowing orders and getting his soldiers into play, immediately going to support certain areas. Based off of what you've told him about the creatures, he has already prepped his soldiers for the inevitable resistances that some of them have, the ones that you knew of course, and then ultimately he begins kind of making his way into the battle. The elves follow suit, supporting the humans and looking for opportunities to support the members of Relic. Some of the Relic army is familiar to you. You see members of all 12 clans in the fight, in the fray. Of course, the rocks are up in the air, though some fight on foot as well alongside their brothers in arms. The Axe clan is there, the Tusk clan. The cloaks seem to kind of phase through the battle, appearing here and there, slaying enemies before coming back to safety, seeming to dance from shadow to shadow in some senses, whereas some halflings are using contraptions to assist them in slaying demons or support their friends. Every member plays their part. You even see members of the merfolk there, though they be on dry land. They are still there to support their comrades. Some wearing armor, some just bare of any kind of clothing, wielding swords, both beautiful and deadly. That being said, does any of the party engage in the conflict? What is your initial reactions as you come out into this battlefield?
Broadcast on the rings, those invisible cloud demons that are confusing people are attacking the front lines. Okay. To Rift, but also to Marius. Be careful of attacks from your own men. If you can protect them against mind control, do so.
You hear a bellow from Marius. I need some protection from casters over here, and you see some people rushing over to aid in that area. You're not sure what they can do, but hopefully they can do something. Good call. Anybody else? The smell is awful, by the way. It smells of death. Ulrich, it smells pretty good.
Belzian's never been in a war like this before. He's never really been in the thick of it, so he's immediately appalled. And he wonders, "You guys went to this willingly sometimes? Hey."
Zippo was just looking directly at the rift, I think we should get moving, and then I'd like to put Brynhild in the necklace.
Okay.
Good luck charm.
Ulrich, I'd like you to make a if you are resisting the hunger at this point, I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
That's a 17.
You're good. You feel an overwhelming urge to bite the nearest person to you to satiate the hunger. For a second, an animal has kind of taken hold. But you kind of get a lock grip on your psyche and rein it in.
Ulrich turns his attention to the hardships rather than the snacks.
Okay. Yarvik, anything you're doing?
Just looking to get to it.
Okay. I guess the next step is to find the casters, says Carl.
Yep. Well, some of them are busy doing that. Roger will point at the wall. And the Eternals who are keeping it up.
You see that Rift is above, still trying to survey things, but also trying to assist with anything he can. He's currently throwing fire down at some of the front ranks. He'll swoop down and do a bead of fire, thus exhausting his breath weapon for a little bit. He says, Nesset is by closer to the wall himself. You'll need to get him and then move as far away from the wall as possible, or you won't be able to teleport. When you get back with Nesset, I will land, or if you open the gate, I will fly through as best I can. Did I lose everybody?
Sorry, I think I missed a few words of the first sentence you had Rift say.
Okay.
Skipped a bit, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. So Rift said basically that Nesset is closer to the Eternals, but once you get him, you'll need to move far enough away from the wall that it won't take the magic. Basically, it won't distort the gate.
We'll go find Nesset, and then I guess move towards the front.
All right. So, two things. One, Nesset is the elf with the antlers that was helping to lead the council meeting back in the chambers months ago that you met. He's the one with the long brown hair. He's an elf. So he seems to be the other one that will be accompanying the party aside from Rift. He also named Nexus. He is not exactly someone who is a caster. Nexus is the leader of the Tusk clan, but he could also prove to be good protection for the group when they go through. He's volunteered to assist. So it seems like those are the people that are selected, as well as Rift. So NNR, Nexus, Nesset, and Rift.
I'm not going to complain about having a big beefy dude helping us out fighting demons.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
So that being said, you run out to the Eternals, and you kind of get that sheer immensity of, even though this wall is a smaller version of the wall, this is a literal pillar to the gods, right? Like, it is, you remember the pillars, the only pillar that can kind of come to mind that was big and you thought was big was the big pillars that supported the cathedral in Jane. This is literally 2 miles in diameter, right? Like, there's nothing that can compare to this. No great tree that you've encountered. No, like, it's stupid. Like, this shouldn't exist, and yet it does, blotting out a piece of the sky, writhing, almost like looks like it's twisting in its immensity. So you grow close and feel that all too familiar feeling of wrongness. Although it's a weaker wrongness, it's not as difficult to abide. And that might be because you're used to that feeling now, or because it's a smaller version. But whatever the case might be, you notice that the Eternals themselves are kind of connected to it. They're something is coming out of them in order to assist with keeping this wall open, this wall up. You're not sure what that means or what is actually happening here, but you do know that people who touch the wall die, and they die for good. They can't be revivified. They can't be restored, regenerated. They're gone. So since these Eternals are in contact with the wall, and still alive just feels that much wronger. Nexus and Nesset are both kind of supporting the efforts to aid these two when one or this action, and when one Eternal drops, they'll let others know. There are other casters aside from Eternals that are joining in on this. There seems to be an energy field that connects the ring of casters, almost as if this is not one person casting a spell, or not many people casting many spells, but many people casting one spell. The spell is being held together by the life force of these individuals, and you have a feeling that if enough of this life force is snuffed out, the wall will take them instead of them having control over it. It's a battle of wills. Because of this, Nesset agrees to come, but Nexus cannot leave the group. He says he wishes you well. And move with haste. This battle is being fought on every side. End it now. At that point, the group runs back, motions to Carl, and Carl opens the gate. He simply says, "The rift, the abyss," and a circle opens. Now, you've seen Carl open the gate several times now. It's always opened to, well, this plane of existence. So you're not kind of prepared for the vacuum feeling, this blast of energy that comes out of the gate as the gate opens. As you see an unfamiliar land on the other side. You can't really make out details from the gate, but the blast of energy, of chaos that kind of just emits from the gate kind of disturbs all of you as you head straight for the gate. But you kind of hear a sound of excitement from the demons nearby that are behind the lines nearby you, almost as if they just feel a wash of home and are renewed in their energy just by being close to that chaos. Carl, as soon as he opens the gate, moves through and says, "Come on, come on!"
It's now or never. Yep. Rift, the gate is open over the rings. And Roger steps through.
You hear, "I see it. Get out of the..." And then as you step through, yeah, the sound cuts off and you can no longer hear him.
I'm going to assume he meant way, and then I'm going to get out of the way.
Okay. The rest of the party...
I'm going to stand in the way.
The rest of the party, you see Rift kind of, who's been flying above, kind of fold his wings and go into a dive. He's going straight down toward the Army of Chaos, and then he, what seems to be at the last second, he almost looks like he's about to crash into the earth. He flattens out, his wings groaning with effort. You can hear him grunt in energy. He scrapes along the ground, taking out what he can of the armies of chaos before he kind of shakes his hands of it, coasts up above the defending army, and then plunges into the gate. There is a scraping sound, and you see that there is some fresh streaks of blood that splatter the ground as he has dove through, but there was probably not a better way to do it any more quickly than he needed to. So he definitely injured himself going through. Zippo, you probably are concerned by this.
Very much so. I don't know how to heal anything, so.
All right, rest of the party, what are you doing?
Jump on through. Careful not to injure myself.
All right, Nesset follows through, as do the other elves who kind of politely share a greeting with their antlered relative. They kind of eye this elf as a very foreign being, but there's a reverence to them. Okay, so that's Zippo who's gone through. Did Belzian go through?
Yes.
And Yarvik?
Hi ho, it's off to Slay we go.
And Jordan follows suit. Ulrich, have you gone through?
Yes.
Okay. Is that everyone? Anybody else coming? In fact, I'll say that as Carl. Is there anyone else? Am I good to shut it?
Roll call.
I think everybody's through.
Everybody that wants to dive into the pit.
All right. He winds up his hands and claps, and the gate closes. And you look around, and you are in the abyss. And we'll find out what that looks like next time. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We will be at our conclusion next session. This fight could have gone a couple different ways. I like how it went this time, but I gave 2 sessions for this battle, and it only took 1. So we are actually on regiment. We are on pace to end next session. That being said, I do want to make sure everyone is able to come on May 6th.
Yes.
That should work for me.
Yeah, it should be good.
I intend to be here.
It should be. Next month's calendar hasn't been posted yet. I'm gonna have to poke my boss and see what's going on. But we should be through with all of the second quarter meetings. So hopefully that'll be cleared up, because they tend to front load those in the first month of quarter. So,
and it isn't something where you can let them know, hey, I have an obligation at this time, since it is the last session, or is that
not yet?
Yeah.
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Still FNG expected to be there.
Got it. I figured I'd just double check. So, all right. So we will hopefully be meeting on May 6th for our actual first session's anniversary, our 4-year anniversary, and potentially the end of the campaign. So we will see you all then. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next one. Have a great night.
You know?